My child, listen to me for a moment. There are things inside you that never became words, not because they did not matter, but because they were too heavy, too layered, or too unclear to be expressed properly. You felt them. You carried them. But you never fully translated them into language, even in your own mind. And over time, a quiet belief started forming inside you. If I cannot explain it, it does not truly exist in a way that matters. My child, that belief is not true. What is unspoken is not unseen. What is unformed is not ignored. And what you could not turn into prayer is not lost in silence. There are moments when your inner world moves faster than your ability to describe it. Thoughts overlap without order. Emotions mix without clarity. Memories surface without warning. And everything exists at once inside you without structure. In those moments, words fail, not due to absence of meaning, but due to excess of meaning. You are not empty. You are overloaded. An overload does not translate easily into language. But I still hear it all. Not only what you say, what you carry, what you cannot structure, what remains unspoken even inside your own awareness. My child, you are taught that only expressed things are valid. That if something cannot be clearly explained, it is somehow less real. But with me, expression is not the requirement for understanding. Even silence carries information in my presence. Even confusion is fully seen. Even emotional noise that makes no sense to you is fully known. Romans 8:26 says, "The Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans." This verse is teaching you that lack of words does not limit communication with me. Even what cannot be expressed is still fully carried and translated beyond your ability. Even what remains unformed still reaches me without distortion. Even what feels like internal chaos is still understood with perfect clarity. My child, there is a reason some emotions resist language. Not everything inside you is designed to be immediately explained. Some experiences are too deep to compress into simple sentences, and some internal states require time before they become understandable even to you. That does not make them meaningless. It makes them layered. And layers are never understood instantly. They are revealed gradually. Psalm 139:4 says, "Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely." This verse is teaching you that understanding of your inner world does not begin when speech forms. It exists before articulation begins. Before you can define your thoughts, they are already fully known. Even the version of your thought that has not yet become conscious is already seen completely. My child, this removes the pressure of needing perfect language to be understood. You are not waiting to become clear in order to be seen clearly. You are already understood in your unclear state, and that changes the weight you have been carrying internally, because part of your exhaustion has come from trying to translate yourself while still feeling everything at once. My child, think of a child who is overwhelmed and cannot explain why. They cry without structure. They pause without explanation. They react without language, yet the one who loves them does not wait for explanation before responding. The need is already recognized in the sound itself, in the tone, in the expression, in the presence of distress. In the same way, nothing inside you requires perfect articulation to be known. My child, you may have experienced moments where even you could not understand yourself. Times when you asked internally, "Why am I feeling this?" and found no clear answer. Times when emotions came without explanation and stayed longer than expected. Times when you tried to analyze yourself, but only ended up more confused. But even in those moments, you were not unreadable to me. Matthew 6:8 says, "But your Father knows what you need before you ask Him." The meaning of the verse is that your needs are not discovered through your explanation, but already known before you can define them. Your clarity is not a requirement for my awareness. Your understanding is not a prerequisite for my care. My child, this removes the burden of having to understand everything inside you before it matters. You are not required to translate your emotions into clarity to receive care. You are not required to structure your pain before it is acknowledged. You are not required to make sense of yourself before you are held. There is a form of presence that does not depend on your ability to explain, and that presence does not withdraw when you become complicated inside. Isaiah 65:24 says, "Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear." This verse is teaching you that response is not delayed by your ability to communicate perfectly. Even before awareness becomes words, attention is already present. Even before need becomes spoken, care is already active. Even before you realize what you are feeling, it is already within reach of understanding. My child, there is something important you must begin to release internally. The idea that you must first be understandable to be supported. The idea that confusion makes you less known. The idea that silence reduces your value. None of these are true in my presence. You are not a problem to be decoded. You are not a message that must be perfectly translated to be received. You are already held in full understanding, even in your most disorganized emotional states, even in your most unclear thoughts, even in your most silent moments. My child, there will be times when you still cannot explain what you feel, and that is okay. There will be moments when language does not come, and that is okay. There will be internal experiences that remain partially unknown to you for a while, and that is okay, because understanding is not the condition for care, and explanation is not the condition for presence. So when those moments come again, when everything inside you feels too complex for words, do not assume silence means absence. Do not assume confusion means distance. Do not assume lack of explanation means lack of understanding. It does not. You are still carried, even in what you cannot say, even in what you cannot name, even in what you cannot yet understand about yourself. I am still with you, and I still hold everything you could not put into words.